A very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something little and yet inspiring, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, but also they encourage us. Joining me today on this particular conversation on AI, yeah, you got that right, AI, artificial intelligence. Right. It's a sister friend of mine, ARVIN KAUFMAN. She's a mother, she's a friend, she's a sister, she's a minister. She is a wife, a daughter, a granddaughter. She's wearing different hats, but child, she is computer scientist as well. She's very techy. I give it to her, very techy. And that's why we thought, me and her, we could come over here and have a chat on artificial intelligence. Why? Because whether you like it or not, it's existing, it's there. So how are we going to move about living life with AI with us? Because it's already implemented. This is a diary that you don't want to miss. So I want to encourage you to sit back, grab a cup of coffee, tea, whatever you enjoy to drink, and join us, me and ARVIN, as we have this conversation, because I chose her particularly for this because she has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. And that's why we are here. So sit back and join us. Thank you so much, ARVIN, for saying yes again. It's not your first time on Fauza Diaries, and I'm so happy that you always say, yeah, let's go, let's do this. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Fauza.
Thank you for what we are about to share, because I think it has taken you a lot of knowledge and skills and learning and studying and everything for you to have all this knowledge of what really artificial intelligence is. And that's actually what I would like us to dive in directly and really ask the normal, simple question. What is AI?
Thanks, Fauza, and thanks for that wonderful introduction. It's so nice to be back. So, if we're talking about artificial intelligence by its definition, and we're going to dive in straight away here, artificial intelligence stands for, well, AI stands for artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence refers to the ability, of machines to perform tasks that typically would require human intelligence. So, such as learning, we have problem solving, we have decision making. If we want to try and explain AI in terms that maybe I always say, explain this to me like I'm 7 years old, okay? So I can understand it.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is when we teach computers to do what normally would require human intelligence. Not just what humans can do, but what would require human intelligence. Like, for example, recognizing speech, understanding pictures, things like language translations. I mean, we've all interacted with this on one level or another. If you've used any apps on your phone to translate languages, Google Translate being an immediate example, Duolingo, which teaches us French. All these are AI tools with AI functionality. We also see AI in other applications like playing games, so computer board chess. If you were young, you were playing solitaire on your computer, but now there's more advanced AI that has intelligence enough to play a game and win a game even over the best champions in the world. So we're seeing these things, yes, and other deep things like decision making. We've been over the years, we hire people purely on the basis that they need to make decisions, CEOs, managers, that's what they're hired to do, to make decisions. But now we see that AI can make decisions based on data, based on analysis, just like a human would. And this has been incredibly useful when you think about the area of finance, when you think about the area of healthcare.
Yeah.
Having a machine make certain levels of decisions has been useful. And later on, I think we'll also talk about the impact of that. But these are some of the things we're seeing AI do. Creativity. So AI can even be used to create new things, just like humans can. For example, it
Mm-hmm.
can be used to create music,
Mm-hmm.
to create art, even writing. Most of us, we watch people write music when we're young and draw, and we thought that was pretty impressive. But
Yeah.
now we have machines doing these things. Although the results may not entirely be perfect or admirable, there's
Mm-hmm.
machines are now capable of doing these things that humans used to do. So in short terms, that is what AI is. Machines have been taught over time to do things that would require human intelligence. And over time, these machines have gotten better and better and better and better at what they do, to the point that now you and I are having this conversation about AI.
Yeah. Sissy, you just said something that this thing can be used to make decision like the way doctors can do. Like I would just say, hold on, I need a real human doctor to sit right here with me.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
crazy right there.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I want us to talk about, because you mentioned something that, the games, that it can actually, this system is programmed in a way that it can even defeat the champions who are so good in playing chess and all those things, right? But also, it's interesting you mentioned that about it can make decision, like having CEOs to make decision are hired to do that, but now AI can also do the same.
Mhm.
So I want you to share a little bit more there, because I would want to imagine, Alvin, if I go to see my gynecology, honey, let's be real, right? How can AI help me?
Right. I think the foundation of what you're talking about is a multitude of issues, and one of them is receptiveness. Some people in their heads, they think about the machine and the AI, and I'm used to my human touch, human feel, human
Yes.
bedside manner by a doctor. How am I now going to allow a machine to replace that value that I've already found in trusting a human being? I know what a human being is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
How can I now begin to rely on a machine, and how is a machine capable of, doing these things? So these questions are being asked by many people, and some people are highly receptive of new technology, as always, and other people are in the middle, maybe, maybe not,
Mm.
and others are thinking, no way, no way. So the application of AI today is very, very vast, and it goes across multiple industries, both big and small firms. We talked about the
Mm.
healthcare. We can
Yes.
also talk about customer service, how it's being used. AI is being used in a wide range of applications. From, if you talk about virtual assistants like Siri, you may have Siri or Alexa on your phone, right? So every time you say, hi Siri, that is an AI that's talking back to you through natural language processing. And we'll
Hold
touch on
on.
that as well. Yes. So this
Siri?
machine, yes. So
Siri,
it's been trained.
send me some music.
They've been trained to know you, to know your voice, to know your persona, and to learn you. They've learned you over a period of time. They've studied human beings. So we then have the application of AI in things like self-driving cars, and you were talking about medical diagnosis. Now,
Yes.
how the receptive is of AI in medical diagnoses,
Mm-hmm.
that's the same way someone would say, I'll never sit in a self-driving car. But most of us don't know we've already sat in self-flying aeroplanes and self-moving trains and trams that have no driver. Most of us, given the option to tick off boxes, would say, hang on, there's no way I'm letting, this uncontrolled thing drive me anywhere. But we're already being driven by those things, whether we know it or not. Many people will tell you right now that pilots are in the plane just to guide the plane, but the plane is flying based on controls, based on systems, technologies, and it can even fly itself. So we're
Absolutely.
already there. We're already at that line. So we've seen AI used in industries like finance, like manufacturing, retail. So many processes now include AI to improve productivity, and so on and so forth. So one of the most powerful uses that I want to talk about in
Mm-hmm.
about AI is in the medical field today that you touched on briefly. It's being
Mm-hmm.
used by doctors and researchers. When we think about a machine, we think about that close touch-on-touch experience, but there's other ways machines have been useful. For example, they can analyze medical images like MRIs. When you have your MRI taken, when you have an X-ray taken,
Yeah.
these AIs are helping doctors to detect diseases earlier, to give, accuracy, to help doctors, make decisions faster and improve their productivity. So that is what AI can do. And it takes a large amount of data that would take human beings such a long time, and it finds new treatments, new cures for diseases. So all these are positives from the world of AI. And possibly, one we've all seen in most recent days is that this is one really that creates a concern that leads to our topic and many people asking questions is when they've witnessed AI, for example, in the world of manufacturing. We've seen like the AI robots in the Amazon shop floors where they're doing pallet driving, conveyor belt stacking. These are jobs that used to be done by humans once upon a time, you know.
Yes, yes.
Now seeing the AI come in that way, and it's a question of receptiveness, but there's also other questions lingering that we're about to talk about here. And another one that we're all familiar with if we're talking about the application of AI is
Yeah.
customer service. Have you ever called your bank and you get through to a machine and you're speaking to an AI and it says, please tell me how I can help you today. You think you're speaking to a human being. So you say, I'd like
Arvin,
to open a business account.
Arvin, hold on. Do you know this is actually crazy and mind-boggling? I called the other day the bank and they said, well, we realized that you've changed your PIN. And I was like, woman, how did she know? Literally, I
Exactly.
was talking back to us.
Exactly. And most of us have talked
Yes,
back. We'll get to that, I guess, the biases of AI, but recognizing accents and recognizing, voice.
yes.
So the companies now are using AI to sort of automate common tasks. How many phone calls does a bank receive in a day? Thousands. So the banks are using AI to automate those common tasks. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to provide like a personalized recommendation to customers. So they will take a pool of us, they will study our data, they will say, what do people usually ask when they call? I want to open
Right.
a bank account is a very common question. So
Mm-hmm.
that process will be automated because it's repetitive. So any place where you see repetitiveness is
Mm-hmm.
AI is being applied to that situation to create a machine that can do what a human being used to do. For example, I will talk about one common example is chatbots. You can
Mm-hmm.
open a business WhatsApp and you can create a few functions. If somebody WhatsApps you, a robot is going to reply and say, how can we help you? This is our business, blah, blah, blah. So we're already interacting with AI on very, very familiar levels, more than we recognize, more than we realize, you know? So these are just a few of the examples of how AI is being used today. And as AI, that technology continues to develop and improve, we can expect to see even more exciting and innovative applications soon. For me, it's exciting, obviously, because I'm from that world. I
Yes.
remember, yeah, I
You
can
see,
remember
that's, yeah. Go ahead.
my my computer science lecturer at the university, and part of her classes, I understood the message she was delivering, but on the other hand, I thought, how can this ever be mainstream? At what point is this going to be applied on a massive scale that will impact everybody? But 10 years down the road from that class, now I see exactly the message she was trying to deliver in helping us understand artificial intelligence and its impact on human beings. And I'm very appreciative of that class right now. So,
No, because you understand all these aspects. Now, I'll tell you something, Arvin. You mentioned that, a good example, you call the bank or, like today I was chatting with a company and I got an automated system where, okay, put your house number and then I put, okay, street number and then and the guy actually came home. But there was no one on the other side saying to me, "Oh, Fauza, la 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 la." No, 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 no. But until you said it's AI, I will whisper, okay? Until you said it's AI, I didn't know it was AI.
So that, if you had a little location marker, you'd say you are now here. This is where we are. And that job, that machine talking to you, that used to be a job being done by somebody else, but it's now automated. Recently in the news, I was reading tech news, and all the top corporations have laid off hundreds of people being replaced by the AI. We'll get into that anyway
Yeah, we
shortly.
will take,
But
we will actually get more into that. But I just wanted us to recap a little bit, Arvin, for someone who is listening before we take a step further on the conversation, because this is actually a very interesting topic, and I was not going to ask this question, but I really want to talk to you about this because we are both moms, we both have boys, and maybe, I don't know, is that why we are wearing blue? I don't know. But listen, honey, how actually do I have to be concerned for this generation? Like, I'm just putting it out there as a mom. Because how much can me and you as a mom control? Because this thing, I think it's on a different level, but I don't want to say that it has the knowledge and wisdom of Christ, but it's because it's been programmed. So it has a lot of knowledge, but I still believe my God still stands. You know what I mean? But do I have to be worried, Arvin? I just want you to touch a little bit there before we move into the next to further of this conversation.
So just to touch a little bit on it there, and that's a very, very good question, and it's a very wise question as well, because like you rightly said, we're seeing an acceleration of AI development. There's not less than 5 AI tools that are made every single day, and it could be more, 10 to 15, by random developers. I could make an AI tool right now. I just don't have the time. But now we're seeing, because of the rise of ChatGPT, AI has gone mainstream really quickly and has become popular. So as a mom, the first thing I'd say to any mom is look at AI as a tool. Come out of the fear mongering, come out of the trying to observe a future that is uncertain, and look at AI as a tool. And then educate yourself about the tool. How can I use this tool to better my life? How can I use this tool to better my child's future? Because like computers, like the internet, like Google, like anything that has come before it, it's here. So avoidance, putting our heads under the sand, is not going to work. We can't pretend that it does not exist, because
Right.
guess what? Our children are going to know more than we know. Remember how we knew more about the internet than our parents?
Yes.
How to write an email. My dad to this day does not interact with machines on the level that I do, and yet for some miraculous way he runs an entire corporation. So we are going to.
But it's running, right?
Yes,
Things are more
but I wouldn't say that it is at the efficiency level that it could have been. So if you're talking about
right.
accuracy, efficiency, productivity, there is
Mm-hmm.
always a progression in the application of tools and machines that are developed that could help us better ourselves. So our children, without a question, are going to
Mm-hmm.
know more than we do. They're going to, if we equip them, they will
Mm-hmm.
have more knowledge, more tools, more access, the ability to adapt, because their minds are young. So as they
Mm.
scroll through social media and they see these tools, they're going to quickly try and learn about them. They're going to quickly use them. So as a mom, I would say educate yourself. When your child comes to you and asks you questions, have 1, 2, 3 words to say about it. And then you keep educating yourself.
Right. You just spoke to an African mama. An African mama will say, honey, that is too much. But I like what you said. We need to educate ourselves because the truth is the generation of our children now. I mean, I have a teen, a preteen. Well, he says he's a teen, right? And he knows more than I do in this technology thing. Sometimes I'm like, honey, can you help mommy fix ABCD? And he said, sure, mom. And he get it done. But also, I think because you see, like the different generation that you have given an example of our parents and us now, and then our children, their generation now, they're actually more curious. The reason why this thing has gotten slightly further is because we are curious. We got curious. What is this Yahoo thing? You know,
Yeah.
remember the days of yahoo.com?
Yeah.
I don't know who uses Yahoo nowadays. I don't know. I think everybody knows on Google. I don't know. But seriously, because
Yeah.
we were curious.
Yes.
But thanks for reminding me that I shouldn't be worried. Rather, I should learn. Because
Yeah.
when I learn, then I will know even how best can I support.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll
That's
get back,
absolutely
I'll,
right.
I'll get back to you about this, because now that you are talking about these things, maybe it's something that, you know, a workshop from Luminous. I don't know, you know, something that it can
Yeah.
actually educate moms. Like, I'll be the
Yeah.
first one to sign up on your workshop, because, honey, I, I, I'm like, okay, I want to know, because if this thing is gonna be talking to me when I need help, how can I be best? How much information do you actually give? Because that's when, you know, you keep learning more and more from you,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Can I just give you a nugget for free there? If you're like a stay-at-home mom and
Yeah.
you're a full-time mom, AI is bringing you into a place of advantage whereby you can actually become a profitable, make money, use your skills in a way that you couldn't before. And these are things I've already been applying to my life in a big, big way. But that's a different topic for when we have the said chart.
Yeah,
But
another Fauza diaries. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yes. So these are things that if you educate yourself about them and if you just see how the world is changing and what's going to be relevant and what's irrelevant right now, you will identify the pockets of opportunity that are available, especially for stay-at-home moms. I'll leave it at that.
That's a workshop on its own, Arvin. Thank you, Sissy, for saying that. Well, you are listening. We are talking about AI. If you have just joined or you lost a bit of the track, because child, I have a lot of questions, because this is a serious discussion that we actually sometimes, I'll say, I'll speak for me. I just don't get to know exactly what happens, you know, with this AI kind of situation. And that's why I felt led that we needed to have this conversation together with ARVIN. And so if you just joined or you just stumbled this conversation, what ARVIN is actually advising right now, this is part one of this conversation, that we need to learn a little bit more instead of being actually ignorant about this thing, because the truth is it's already here and it's existing. Now, my question to you is, and to myself, what are we doing about it? Right? I'm asking you, my viewers, I'm asking myself. ARVIN is helping us to understand because of her knowledge and wisdom. She's impacting all this to us, but what are we doing, me and you? So stay with us. We'll take a commercial break. We will be back. And I think this is a discussion that it actually needs more tea. Make sure your tea is hot, because it's going to get a bit stiff when we come back. Stay tuned and don't go away, because we will be right back with even more and more of this conversation. Stay tuned.